Hi everybody, my name is Brian Mercier, and this is the third part of a series I'm making on pro-abortion arguments and pro-life answers. I'm pro-life. I'm also pro-woman. I'm also pro-baby. I'm pro. I'm pro-life because we want to help the women and we want to help the baby. And if you haven't seen my first two segments, giving the first 10 pro-abortion arguments and answers to them, and why they're wrong, then maybe you can check out those videos first. I'll link them in the description section below. I will link the first one above right here. And this video is the final segment giving the last 5 arguments, of course not all the arguments, but 5 of the main ones, 15 of the main ones in all, that we're going to be discussing in this series. As I've said in other series, there's no good reason to be pro-choice. In my opinion, there's no good pro-choice arguments. And in fact, Catholic Answers has a radio show, and Trent Horn is on there, and he gives this show, and it's called Why Are You Pro-Choice? And pro-choice people call in, and they give their answers for being pro-choice. And the pro-life arguments that he gives are so much stronger, make so much sense. And that's why we're going through some of them that I've heard and read about and studied over the years in this video series. My name is Brian Mercier, and if you've never been here before, I'm a professional Catholic speaker, I'm a retreat leader, I'm an author, and on this channel we talk a lot about God, the Catholic faith, life, and living. And in this video we're giving the top pro-choice arguments and pro-life answers. So let's get started. The number 11 argument by pro-abortion proponents is this, that abortion has to stay legal. It's legal now and it has to stay legal. Otherwise, women will just have to go to back alleys and have really dangerous abortions that can really injure them, harm them, and even kill them. So abortion has to be legal. And I always talk to women and I ask them, why is it bad if women are harmed? Why is it bad if they have back alley abortions? And of course, because they say, well, a woman can die. I mean, she could have problems for the rest of her life. So I say, okay, it's bad because the woman is harmed and she could even die. And they say, yes. And I said, and that's bad? Why? And they said, because a woman could die. And I said, okay, so death is bad. But every abortion, a baby dies. Every abortion, a life dies. So if death is bad and killing someone is bad and someone dying is bad, then abortion, by that same logic, is wrong. It's evil. It's immoral because we're taking an innocent human life. Just because it's legal doesn't mean it should stay legal. I mean, many things have been legal in our country and in the world that aren't good. I mean, look at slavery. Slavery was legal at one point. That doesn't mean it's good. It doesn't mean we shouldn't be fighting against it. In fact, in Nazi Germany, it was okay to persecute Jews, to kill Jews. It was legal. It was okay. That's not good either. And in fact, to take a life, any innocent human person's life, is wrong. And that's why abortion is always wrong. And that's why there's no good reasons to try to justify it. And there's no good pro-choice arguments to get around that point that killing an innocent person is wrong. See, here's the thing. Laws are meant to tell us what's right and wrong. They're meant to instruct us and to teach us. So for example, we know rape is wrong. Rape is illegal, but people still choose to do it anyways. Murder and domestic violence are illegal, but people still choose to do them anyways. The law can't force people to stop it, but it can severely cut down on the amount of cases that there are. I mean, can you imagine if rape was legal or murder was legal, how many more there would be if you were allowed to do it and not have any consequences and you could get away with it? So the law is an instructor. It can't stop people from doing it, but it can severely cut down the number of cases, and that is a good thing. I mean, after all, we don't have the attitude that, well, people are going to rape anyways, even if you have laws, so you know what, we should just allow them and get them a nice clean room and allow them to do it where people are going to be less harmed. Do we have that attitude? Of course not, because rape is wrong, abortion is wrong, and therefore we should have laws that say it's wrong. Some people say, yeah, but it's safer, in Planned Parenthood or an organization like that because a woman in a back alley is not going to be safe. And I always respond, safer for whom? Every time there's an abortion that happens, 2 people walk in and only 1 walks out. That's not safe. And if you're talking about safe for a woman, like back alleys and coat hangers and just them being mutilated and tens of thousands of them dying and all these myths that you hear about back alleys, that's not true. All of that is a myth. Sure, Abortions will happen if you make it illegal, but the majority of abortions that were done illegally were still done by physicians. They weren't done by coat hangers generally. I mean, the majority were done by physicians who were also acting illegally. In fact, the year before Roe versus Wade, the year before abortion was made legal, 39 women died of illegal abortions. 24 women died of legal abortions. So almost the same amount. And in fact, 39, yeah, that's bad. But pro-choice, pro-abortion people, they say, oh, thousands of women die every year. It's not thousands. It was 39. And 24 died in legal abortion. And a baby died in every abortion. And so we really need to look at it in the context of the whole to see what the reality is. In fact, I want to recommend to you a book. I was going to wait till the end, but I'm going to quote this book really quick right now. And it's called Persuasive Pro-Life by Trent Horn. It's the best book on the market for pro-life answers and against pro-choice arguments. There's none better. You don't even need to read any other books. Just read that book. I'll link it in the description section below, but I highly recommend it. It gives great answers. But listen to what Trent Horn has to say on this on page 183, because he actually quotes a lot of facts and a lot of court cases, and he gives actual evidence, not just emotional arguments. Listen to what he says. He says this. Oh, and he's quoting a Planned Parenthood president. It's not Trent who's saying this. It's Planned Parenthood's own president. Listen to what she says. She says, abortion is no longer a dangerous procedure. And this applies not just to therapeutic abortions as performed in hospitals, but also to the so-called illegal abortions as done by physicians. In 1957, there were only 260 deaths in the whole country attributed to abortion of any kind. There goes the thousands each year myth. Second, and even more importantly, the conference estimated that 90% of all illegal abortions are presently being done by physicians. So physicians are actually doing them. They're not all these unsafe abortion procedures in the back just being done with coat hangers and all these other things. No, they're actually being done by physicians, and very few people are dying. So this is not an actual argument, and the facts actually state to the contrary. So in summary, let's help to protect the innocent life in the womb, but let's also help to protect the woman and to support the woman and give her the support she needs financially, mentally, emotionally, in whatever way she needs, so that she doesn't have to feel the pressure of needing to even go for an abortion. She can feel like she has other options rather than taking the life of her own child. Because some women feel like they have no other choice, so we should also be working to help them. The next abortion argument is number 12. You can't force your religious beliefs on us or on anyone else. Keep your religious beliefs to yourself. This is a separate issue. But really it's not, because the taking of an innocent human life, it's always wrong. It's always wrong to kill another human being, and that's religious or non-religious. In fact, there are many atheists who are pro-life. There are many secular humanists who are pro-life. There are many people in this country who are not religious who believe abortion is always wrong. So it's not just a religious argument. Both religious people and unreligious people believe that abortion is wrong because it takes an innocent human life, and that's called murder. Number 13 says this: you can't legislate your morality. But the fact is, we legislate morality all the time. I mean, we say no drunk driving, no domestic violence, don't kill people, don't steal, don't do this, don't do that. I mean, we legitimately make laws and legislate morality all the time in this country, and we should, because as I said earlier, the law is an educator. And in fact, if people aren't moral enough to not beat their wives, for example, domestic violence, that we need laws that say don't beat your wife, and there's going to be strict consequences if you do. Likewise, if people aren't moral enough to know that killing the innocent child in their womb is wrong, we need laws to tell people that, and that there's going to be consequences for doing so. Now, a lot of people, they're lied to by Planned Parenthood, and they're lied to by all the lies and the rhetoric out there, and many people have believed that it's not a life in there, and that it's just a piece of tissue, which we answered in the other videos, but it really is a life. Some people don't know, and they do it innocently. Other people, they do know, and they choose to, and there should be laws against this. The second to last argument, number 14, is that foster care is terrible. It's a terrible system. Everybody knows it. And you're telling me that you would rather have a kid be born into that and suffer and be depressed and angry for the rest of his life and have a horrible life. That's wrong. It's better to get an abortion. But see, they use the word abortion and not taking an innocent life and killing that life and not giving them the right to life. That's the way I turn it around. I said, is it better to actually take someone's life? Is it better to actually kill them? Is that really a better option? No, I don't think it is. And in fact, why don't we work on fixing the foster care system? Why don't we work on fixing the problems rather than actually killing kids and thinking we fix the problem? No, the better thing to do is to protect innocent life and to help the foster care system get better. But I've been reading for years that there are thousands of families that want to adopt kids and can't because there's just not enough babies thanks to abortion. I know many loving, wonderful couples who want a little baby and can't, at least not in this country, many times because there's just not enough kids. And most of my friends have had to adopt from other countries because we don't have enough thanks to our abortion laws. And the next thing I want to say is that you don't know that they're going to be depressed. You don't know that they're going to be angry and have a lot of pain and hardship. Sure, they might, but you know what? It doesn't have to stay that way. This life is not all there is. We can go to heaven and have eternal life happily forever. I mean, people, I'm just going to be honest here, but people told my mother to abort me. They told her that my family doesn't have enough money. We don't have this. We don't have that. I'm going to live a very bad life. Just get rid of me and live a better life. I mean, can you believe that? My mother, and I'm thankful for this, thank you, Mom, that she chose life. She chose to give me life. These people don't have the right to say that I don't have a right to live. Who are they to say that I don't have a right? Who's anybody to say that I don't have a right to life, that I don't have a right to live, that I'm not my own person, that I'm me? Thankfully, my mother saw straight and she saw that and she gave me life. And thankfully for that, I've helped thousands of people. And I'll admit, in the beginning, yeah, I had a rough life and I was angry and I dressed in black and I wanted to hurt people and I was depressed. And if you read my poetry, it was psychotic and crazy. But you know what? God came into my life and he healed me and he fixed me and he gave me a new life, a new heart, new mind, new being, new everything. And God can do that for anyone. He is the cure. Killing babies is not the cure. Getting God in people's life or counseling or some other aspect to help people fixing the system, that is a better cure. And because my mom gave me life, I've been able to help so many hundreds and even maybe thousands of people. I've talked people off cliffs who wanted to kill themselves. And people who cut themselves. I've talked to people who are struggling with abortions. I've talked to people in every kind of scenario you can imagine. People who are depressed, people who are angry. And if I wasn't born, who would have been there to talk that person's razor out of their hand? Who would have been there to talk that person off a cliff? Who would have been there to counsel that person, to give them a big hug and say, you know what? Your life is wonderful. It's bad now, but it can get so much better. This is not the rest of your life. So many times we look at life like this. Like we see our hand right there. But if we look back and we can see the whole room in addition to our hand, it's a whole different worldview. And yeah, it's bad in foster care, but let's fix the real problem, which is foster care. And let's get kids the help they need, women the help they need, and babies the help they need. If women need help putting them up for adoption, if they need diapers, if they need money, let's give them the help and the support they need and not just fix the baby problem, because that's not fixing a problem. The last argument is number 15, and there's many more, but these are the top 15 arguments that I usually hear, and that is this, that abortion is a right. But here's the answer. Nobody has the right to kill an innocent human being. Nobody, not the mother, not a other person. We can't kill born people and we can't kill unborn people. And we've already shown in earlier videos that the person inside the womb is an actual person. It's not just tissues. It's an actual living human being. And even in the first trimester, when the abortions are done, they actually have to suck out the head with a straw and hands and legs, and then they separate the body parts even in the first trimester, because it's not just a little tissue like some people think it is, or a little clump of something. It's actually a person. And all we're trying to do in the pro-life field is help that little person to find the life it needs and to help the mother in any way she can. And I know people who will actually adopt your child, and they say, please don't abort him. I'll adopt your child. Just give us the child. In fact, I know people who will adopt many children, and they want many children, but they just can't because there's not enough children out there. So to summarize, we know scientifically that the person in the womb is a life. We know it scientifically. We can see it in ultrasounds. And my wife just had her fifth ultrasound, and we've seen so many different pictures of our little girl. We've seen her head, we've seen her feet, we've seen her hands, we've seen her kicking around, and we've seen these different parts of her. We know she's human. We know it's a life. It's not even an argument. Even abortion doctors know that, and they admit it. So the pro-choice people who keep saying it's not a life, it's not a person, you're not being honest with yourself, or you don't know the facts. It really is a life, and we know that scientifically, and we know it spiritually because God has given it life, and we have no right to play God and to take that life away. Here in America, we have a declaration that says everybody has inalienable rights, universal. It applies to everybody. And those rights are the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You can't have liberty and you can't have happiness if you don't first have life. Life is the first and most important right of human beings. God has given us that right. It's from Him, and everyone has the right to life. Let's make our world pro-life again. Not a culture of death, but a culture that supports, nurtures, and loves life. If you like this video and you think it's really important, then please like it and share it with others. Let's get it out there to the masses. Please help me with that. Share it on your social media. Share it on your YouTube. Share it anywhere you can share it, but let's get the message out there because it's really important. And as soon as I put this video up, YouTube is going to nerf it, of course, because it's very controversial and it's not going to be monetized. And so if you could help me, would you give $20 a month? $40 a month, $50 a month more to our nonprofit here, because we want to make many more videos and we want to reach millions of more people through retreats, through conferences, through TV, through YouTube, through different means. So if you could visit our Patreon page and check us out and think and pray about helping us, I'm asking you personally to jump on board with us and with our team and to help get the message out there farther and wider, because our goal is not to reach thousands or hundreds of thousands, but millions of people for Christ. So if you do that, check out my Patreon page above right now, and God bless you. Thank you so much for watching, and please pray for me.